Imagine you are in a high-stakes meeting. The client looks you dead in the eye and demands a 20% discount.
Oh, that is stressful.
Right. Your heart rate spikes. You know you have to say no. But you also know that if you use the wrong English phrase in this exact moment, you might lose the entire deal.
Yeah, that pressure is incredibly real.
It is. So welcome to the deep dive. If you are an English learner at the B2 or C1 level, today's session is built entirely for you.
Absolutely.
Our mission today is highly practical. We are mastering business English, specifically for meetings and negotiations.
Right, because the goal is to help you speak clearly, professionally, and diplomatically when you're sharing opinions, asking questions, making proposals, handling disagreements, and ultimately closing deals.
Exactly. And to start us off, I really want to establish the core message of this entire deep dive. Effective business English is not about sounding complicated. It is about being clear, respectful, specific, and strategic.
Yes, I love that.
Like, think of it this way. Good business English isn't about using a fancy thesaurus to sound smart. It's basically like being a skilled driver. You don't need a complicated car, right? You just need to know how to navigate the traffic smoothly and safely.
What's fascinating here is that so many advanced learners overcomplicate things. I mean, they think big words sound better. But overcomplicating language often leads to miscommunication.
Oh, for sure.
Whereas strategic, simple phrases, well, they actually build trust.
So, if we run with that driving analogy, before you can navigate the traffic, you have to start the car and know your destination. Let's look at how to open a meeting effectively. Phrase 1 is, "Thanks for joining today."
This one is great. It's a polite, natural, neutral, and highly professional way to begin both online and in-person meetings.
Yeah, it really sets a positive tone. Like, you might say, "Thanks for joining today. I know everyone has a busy schedule."
Right. Let's run a quick mini dialogue for it. I'll start. Thanks for joining today. I would like to keep this meeting focused and practical.
Sounds good. What is the main objective?
See? Very smooth.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit, though. What happens if people just skip this and jump straight into talking?
Oh, I mean, that's a common trap. Skipping this leads to vague meetings with no clear outcome. You really need phrase 2, which is, the goal of today's meeting is...
Yeah, that is super professional and direct.
Exactly. For example, you'd say, the goal of today's meeting is to agree on the final delivery timeline.
Nice. Let's do the dialogue. I'll be the first person. The goal of today's meeting is to compare the two proposals and choose a direction.
Perfect. Should we start with cost or timeline?
And just like that, everyone knows what's happening. Which brings us to phrase 3. Let's walk through the agenda.
Yeah, this is very common and natural. You use it to review your planned topics in order, step by step.
Right. An example would be, let's walk through the agenda before we discuss the details. Ready for the dialogue?
Yep, I'll start. Let's walk through the agenda first.
Sure. I see we have budget, staffing, and next steps. So now the meeting has started. But, once a meeting starts, it rarely goes perfectly in a straight line, right?
Oh, definitely not. People go off topic all the time.
Yeah, so you need tools to manage confusion or tangents. Phrase 4 is, could you clarify what you mean by?
This is such a professional and diplomatic way to ask for a clearer explanation. It asks for precision while keeping things respectful. And honestly, this is vastly superior to simply saying, I don't understand.
Right, because saying I don't understand can sound a bit abrupt.
Exactly, or even unprofessional in certain contexts. With this phrase, you might say, could you clarify what you mean by a flexible timeline?
That sounds so much better. Let's role play it. You start.
We need a more flexible timeline.
Could you clarify what you mean by flexible?
Boom, instant clarity. Now, phrase 5 is a bit different. It's just to make sure I understand.
Well, I use that one a lot. It feels very professional and careful.
Yes, and collaborative too. You use it before summarizing or checking information, especially when the stakes are high.
Like, just to make sure I understand, you are asking for a 2-week extension.
Right. Let's run the mini dialogue. We may need more time before signing.
Just to make sure I understand, you need legal approval first.
Spot on. But what about when someone goes completely off topic?
That's where you need phrase 6. Let's stay focused on.
It's professional but firm. Though you really want to use a warm tone here to bring a meeting back to the main topic. Otherwise, you might sound a bit harsh.
Yeah, a warm tone is key. So you'd say, let's stay focused on the launch timeline for now. Let's test it out. You try to derail the meeting.
We should also redesign the customer portal.
That's important. But let's stay focused on the contract terms today.
Nice pivot.
Thanks. So that manages the flow, but that connects us to the next challenge. What happens when the conversation is on track, but you actually disagree with what's being said.
Yeah. That's tricky.
Right. How do you push back diplomatically? Phrase 7 is a great start, from my perspective.
This is incredibly neutral and respectful. It's a professional way to introduce an opinion without sounding aggressive.
Yeah, it's definitely softer than saying, I think in a formal context.
For sure. You could say, from my perspective, the current offer does not reflect the full scope of work. Let's do the dialogue. I'll start. From my perspective, we need a clearer approval process.
I agree. The current process creates delays.
Okay, but what if you need to be a bit more direct with your disagreement?
Then you need phrase 8. I see your point, Bo.
Classic.
It is. It's a very diplomatic way to disagree after acknowledging the other person's view. Very common in negotiations. But I do have a warning here.
Oh, what's the trap?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, do not overuse the word but after every sentence. If you repeat it too often, you just sound resistant and negative.
Oh, wow. That makes a lot of sense. You don't want to be the wall in the room.
Exactly. Use it strategically. An example is, I see your point, but the proposed deadline may create quality risks.
Let's hear it in action. I'll go first. We need the lowest possible price. I see your point, but we also need to protect service quality.
Nice. It softens the blow. Phrase 9 is another good one for that. I have some concerns about.
This is a calm, professional way to introduce a risk or a problem. It's way less confrontational than saying, this is a problem.
Right. It's super useful to just slow down a decision, like, I have some concerns about the payment schedule.
Let's role play it. Are you ready to approve the proposal?
I have some concerns about the implementation timeline.
Very diplomatic.
Okay, so once you've aired your concerns or disagreements, you can't just leave a problem hanging, you know?
Oh, absolutely not. You have to offer a solution.
Exactly. So phrase 10 is, what we can offer is.
Very professional and direct. You use this to present a proposal clearly when you're ready to put a concrete option on the table.
Right, like, what we can offer is a 3-month pilot with weekly performance reviews. Let's try the dialogue. I'll be person A. What we can offer is a lower setup fee if you commit to 12 months.
That could work. Can you send the revised numbers?
Now, what if you want to be a little less concrete and more exploratory?
Then you go with phrase 11. Would you be open to?
Oh, I like that. It sounds very diplomatic.
It is. It's a polite way to suggest an option without forcing it. It really makes proposals feel collaborative rather than demanding.
So, would you be open to extending the deadline by 1 week? Let's do the exchange. You start.
Would you be open to a phased rollout instead of a full launch?
Yes, if the first phase includes our highest priority features.
Nice.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Phrase 12 is, if we agree to that, we would need...
Oh, this is the best one.
It is. It's the ultimate formula for deal making. It's a concession plus a condition.
Yes, it's highly professional and strategic. It connects what you give up to what you require in return. Example, if we agree to that, we would need written confirmation by Friday.
Let's run a high-stakes dialogue for this. Could you reduce the monthly fee?
If we agree to that, we would need a longer contract term.
Brilliant. Now, after a proposal is made, the actual negotiation dance really begins. Both sides have to maneuver to find common ground.
Right, and phrase 13 helps when you need to push back on their maneuver. That would be difficult on our side.
So it's basically saying no without using the word no.
Pretty much. It's professional, indirect, and a polite way to reject or resist a request. It's softer than a blunt no, and it leaves space for an alternative solution.
Example being, that would be difficult on our side because our team is already fully allocated. Let's role play. Can you deliver everything by the end of the month?
That would be difficult on our side, but we could deliver the first phase.
I really like how that keeps the door open, which leads right into phrase 14. Could we meet halfway?
Yeah, very professional and conversational. It suggests a compromise when both sides need to move from their initial positions.
Like, could we meet halfway and settle on a 15% discount? Let's try the dialogue. We were hoping for a 20% discount.
Could we meet halfway at 10% with priority support included?
And when you finally find that middle ground, you need phrase 15. That sounds reasonable.
Very neutral and professional. You use it to accept or show openness to an idea, especially when the proposal is acceptable, but details still need confirming.
So you'd say, that sounds reasonable. Let's include it in the revised agreement. Dialogue time. You go first.
We can extend the deadline by 1 week if the scope stays the same.
That sounds reasonable. Let's confirm the new timeline in writing.
Perfect.
Finding agreement is great, obviously, But a deal isn't truly done until you formally close the meeting and lock in the next actions.
Yes, you have to close properly. Phrase 16 is to summarize what we agreed.
Highly professional and clear, used before reviewing decisions.
Right, because it reduces confusion and prevents different interpretations later. For example, to summarize what we agreed, the pilot will start in June and last 8 weeks.
Let's do the quick exchange. To summarize what we agreed, you will send the revised proposal tomorrow.
Correct, and your team will review it by Friday.
Then you keep the momentum going with phrase 17. The next step is
Very practical. It's a direct phrase for explaining what should happen after the meeting. It creates that momentum.
the next step is to get approval from finance. Let's hear the dialogue. You start.
The next step is for our legal team to review the contract.
Great. When do you expect their feedback?
And finally, phrase 18, I'll follow up with.
Oh, this is one of the most useful closing phrases in professional English.
It really is. It's common, professional, and used to promise you will send info or take action. Example, I'll follow up with the updated timeline and meeting notes.
Let's run the final dialogue. I'll follow up with a summary and the revised pricing table.
Thanks. That will help us make a decision internally.
Okay, time to put you in the hot seat.
Yeah.
I will play the role of someone using language that is too simple or too direct, and you will instantly upgrade it to professional business English. Ready?
I am ready. Let's do it.
What is this meeting about?
Could you clarify the main objective of today's meeting?
I don't understand your idea.
Could you clarify what you mean by that?
You are wrong about the price.
I see your point, but I have some concerns about the pricing.
We cannot do that.
That would be difficult on our side, but we could explore another option.
Give us a discount.
Would you be open to adjusting the price if we commit to a longer term?
We want this and you must accept it.
If we agree to that, we would need confirmation on the timeline.
Fine, we agree.
That sounds reasonable. Let's confirm the next steps in writing.
Send me everything later.
Could you follow up with the revised proposal and action items?
Amazing upgrades. Now, to cement this learning, let's do a rapid-fire recap of the entire toolkit. We will alternate reading the 18 phrases out loud. I'll start. Thanks for joining today.
The goal of today's meeting is,
Let's walk through the agenda.
could you clarify what you mean by,
Just to make sure I understand,
let's stay focused on?
from my perspective.
I see your point, but
I have some concerns about
what we can offer is,
would you be open to?
if we agree to that, we would need,
That would be difficult on our side.
could we meet halfway
That sounds reasonable.
to summarize what we agreed?
The next step is,
I'll follow up with.
well done.
Now, here's your study task. Choose 5 phrases from this deep dive and practice them with your own meeting or negotiation situation.
Yeah, just 5 is a great start.
And before we sign off, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. Consider this, the language you choose doesn't just describe the negotiation to the other person. Your words actively build the architecture of the deal and the future of your professional relationship. Good language doesn't just communicate, it constructs.
What a great way to put it. Well, good luck in your next meeting, and we will see you next time on The Deep Dive.